Good evening from London, England to wherever you're watching. Or is it good morning or is it good afternoon? From London, England to wherever you are around the world. This is your host, your guy himself, DLG Reppin Romeo Echo Papa Papa Indigo November. So, excuse me. Got the latest football context that's going on in the world of football. Newcastle United take action against the Premier League, and that's to do the failed takeover bid. And I'll read into that in a moment. And according to some sources, which is broken out, there's been reports of two Arsenal players having a fight in the name of Dani Ceballos and David Luiz. I mean, how true is that? We don't know because we weren't there to see it. We can only go by what's been said. But I will say this. Dani Ceballos, he's had previous bust-up with Eddie Nketiah, whereas David Luiz in the past has had a previous bust-up with Higuain. Make that one out what you want to make out. But we'll start off with Newcastle. And as it says in yellow writing, that's the head title. Newcastle take action against Premier League. Newcastle United have confirmed they have launched legal proceedings against the Premier League following a failed takeover bid in the summer. The club claimed the Premier League broke a confidentiality clause when it leaked the contents of a letter about the proceedings to a supporter group. A Saudi Arabian-backed consortium pulled out of a $300 million deal in June. Oh, I feel a bit tired, I know. It's the business end of the day. Just bear with me. They rejected the offer from the Premier League of arbitration arbitration to determine who would own the club. Well, that involved the lady Steve Lee and another guy who was reported to have murdered a family member, if I'm corrected. I'm sure Newcastle fans can put me up. I'm sure Newcastle fans can correct me about the story. The reason why the Premier League didn't approve of Newcastle having a bid. I mean, it would have been interesting and fun for the Premier League. Or I say fun, but interesting. Because you have Man City and Chelsea have spent millions. And you know Man United always spend millions as well. But we won't talk about their spending. But again, Newcastle would have, they would have possibly livened up the Premier League a lot more, made it competitive, due to the fact that they didn't get the takeover bid they wanted. It left them seething with a lot of anger, especially amongst their supporters, and putting up with Mike Ashley for however long. It makes them a lot sicker, more than a lot of pig sick. Let's put it that way. It ain't great, and it's left them with a lot of questions and a bitter taste in their mouths. So all they can do now is go on ahead and try their very best to take action against the Premier League. We'll see how that pans out. So moving on in other news, David Luiz and Ceballos were meant to have had a tear up. Well, we will only find out if Luiz starts alongside Gabriel Magalhaes, and we'll see if there's a scratch on his face, or we will see if Dani Ceballos is sitting on the bench with the rest of the substitution, with the other 6 substitutions, to see if there's any marks on his nose. Apparently, Luiz has caused damage to his nose, and Ceballos was meant to have gone in and got him back, but the playing staff quickly separated the fight within seconds. God knows how it started. God knows who started it, but I don't care. This is something where Mikel Arteta's got to put his foot down and take severe action against the both of them. And if this happens to be true, only if it happens to be true, then I would want retrospective action taken against both players. And that means fining them week's wages and 2 weeks ban from playing football for Arsenal, for representing the club, because this is an embarrassment. I mean, the other day, or a few days, or a week ago or something, we had Aubameyang having an argument with Toni Kroos, when Aubameyang could have come out and said something. He come out and defended himself. He hasn't done any harm to the club. Toni Kroos is just being a fucking prick. Just behaving like a fucking prick. Seriously, Mr. Kroos, mind your own business, you fucking idiot. So that's Toni Kroos's business. If he's got an issue with Aubameyang wearing the mask, it was for a film Waka Fight. Oh, I can't even pronounce it. But you know what I'm trying to say. However, our situation is it's like a merry-go-round circus. I mean, we've had a situation with Ceballos and Eddie Nketiah having a bit of a bust up in a warm-up, in a half-time warm-up. You know, someone made a bad tackle, and the other person didn't take too kindly to it, and they nearly came to blows, but it had to be separated by the teammates. I mean, what is going on? I mean, Mikel Arteta's got a tough enough job. I mean, some of the players have got away with taking the piss at times. They got away with it with Emery, and there's some of them who got away with it with Wenger. Well, enough is enough for me. I'm sick and tired of it, and I want Arteta to take action and, you know, show his mettle. I mean, yes, he's got a very tough job in what he has to do, and how he plans to infiltrate his philosophy, you know, and the discipline as well. You know, if I have a fight with my colleague at work, I won't even be in disciplinary. I'll be sacked, because it's bringing the council into disrepute. The work that I do as an environmental operative, basically, I'm all over the place. I could be in a number of varieties of jobs, like road sweeping, litter picking, working on the dust, whether refuse or recycling, or working on a 7.5 ton as a loader, or 3.5 ton as a loader. You know, if I ever tear up with another worker, that's disciplinary. That's a disciplinary altogether. It won't even go to disciplinary. Knowing my luck, it'll be instant dismissal. And Ceballos and David Luiz have got to learn the hard way. So discipline and punishment is a must, and it needs to be stamped out. And it will send a message to every single member of the squad that this is unacceptable and will not be tolerated. Only if the story happens to be true. But it's been bounced about all over social media, and it's not good. It's not a good look for the club. It's not a good look for what Arsenal stand for. You know, you got younger generation of supporters looking onto this, millions of pounds, millions of fans, and it disgraces, it embarrasses the culture of our club. This disgraceful story act that is coming out on social media about Luiz and Sobre having a tear up in training. Yes, I suppose it can happen. Some at most times they shake hands and put it to bed. But these things can happen, yeah. You don't necessarily have to get on with everyone you work with in everyday walk of life, but for crying out loud, how has the media got hold of this? How has it been made public? Which is disturbing, which is not even it's not just disturbing me, it's really upsetting me inside. And it's embarrassing. Especially when your rival fans get a sniff of this and they're sending it all over social media to their friends and family. It's embarrassing. And the club needs to do something about these two individuals. All right, Dani Ceballos is not our player, but he's just as employed by Arsenal, just as much as any other Arsenal player. So Ceballos and David Luiz, I mean, both of them need to be punished the same way. Fine week's wages, drop for a couple of games, whatever it takes for them to really get the message and to understand what Arsenal is all about. I think I've said what I've had to say, and I'm going to wrap this up and say, ladies and gentlemen, to the boys, to the girls, thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. And yeah, I do apologise for my language. It's unacceptable. It's not something that I would like to use. Although I know I can say what I want to say to a certain extent. I know YouTube have a code of conduct, which I have to oblige by. Other than that, it's peace again, love again, and bless again. Do have a good night, and make sure you please rest well. Oh, and just before I go, if you've got your own comments, your own messages, or your own views or personal opinions on this matter with Ceballos or with the Newcastle situation, leave it in the comment section below, and I'll be reading every message as possible, and I'll try and get back to you in a discussion. Smash the thumbs up, like button as many as possible, and definitely smash my subscribe button today, please. I'll need you to subscribe to my channel today by smashing my subscribe button left, right, and center galore. Make sure you murder it and beyond. And the more subscribers, the more this channel will grow, and the more I will do my very best and utmost to bring you the latest context. Other than that, have a good night and do rest well. See you later. Nice.